Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekly RigER webinars. Today we're hosting the webinar number 104, and that's great that we are progressing and we are delivering the webinar content to you every week. So today we're going to be talking about the onboarding process for the new RigER clients and the customer success for the existing clients. So how we deliver the implementation projects and how we support our customers along the journey. Okay, today two people will be presenting the webinar content to you. This is myself, actually. My name is Gleb Kobits, and I'm VP of Operations here in RigER. And we also have a Eugene Michurin, who is the project manager here in RigER. He also will talk about the customer success today, and we will deliver some exciting information to you today. So let's first start with kind of general approach of the digitalization and digitization of the companies and of the business. We identify actually 6 levels of the digitalization of the business. And depending on the level on which you are right now, we will customize the implementation project for you. And we actually identify these levels just to make sure that everybody will understand the content of the project and the scope of the project. And again, depending on the level at which you're right now within your business and within your operations, we would be able to deliver customized solutions to you. And in some cases, there will be different kind of integrations involved. Or if you're on the lower level of the digitization, then we will just make this a little bit more simple at the beginning, and then raise complexity and move you to on this ladder with each implementation stage or phase, and bring you to the top of this digitalization ladder. Basically, the most of the clients that we are working right now and that we've seen, they are on the level 2 or level 3 when they need to maybe sometimes replace their existing processes and their existing systems, sometimes ERP systems, or a little bit outdated systems with the newest one. And they are maybe on the level 2 where they are using cloud applications, or how it's called also SaaS software as a service, when you can access your information literally anywhere and anytime from any devices. And whenever you want to access your information and any kind of documents that you're working with your clients, that also can be done on the mobile devices. And most of the modern software performs the same functionality on the mobile devices. And we are talking about the level number 3 here. But if you're on these levels right now and you want to step up and to improve your digital kind of capabilities, then most of the businesses are looking into the business intelligence kind of functionality, when you can analyze the data that you're processing in the current systems and current softwares, and then start integrating that information with data analytics and data processing software. Sometimes it may be these kind of systems like Power BI from Microsoft, or Tableau, which allows you to analyze the data pretty quickly and efficiently. And the advanced digitalization level is when you're using different kinds of integrations of both hardware and software. So if your equipment is tracked or analyzed with some kind of advanced sensors and equipment that is collecting information about the performance of the rental equipment or assets, then this information gets imported to the other software or just transfer to the other software that again allows you to analyze the data. So speaking of the implementation project of the RigER software, we usually, with the larger organizations, we start with the pre-implementation stage when we need to assess your business and analyze your business processes, how you perform your business operations, who involved in these business operations, what kind of resources are used in these operations. And all this assessment and business study allows us to plan the implementation project properly, and just to be confident that we allocate enough resources from both sides, from the RigER team side, from the client side, to deliver project in time and in budget. So that's an important stage just for the next several months to get the project done. Since the RigER is the complex system with many modules involved, and it can be considered as the ERP system in the oil field, or like we call this Oilfield Services Suite, that has many modules and add-ons in it. And all these modules and add-ons are interconnected and can be enabled or disabled. Sometimes if you don't need some modules, we can just hide them or not include in your configuration. So the configuration of the RigER software is very flexible, because we can build this system and configuration for you based on your needs, based on your requirements, on your business operations, and on the specific of your business. And depending on that, we can enable some modules or disable them. But speaking generally about the complex systems in the oil field, we deliver the core modules for you in the standard configuration, and then we analyze based on our pre-implementation consulting process. We identify what kind of additional or optional modules can be enabled. And again, it depends on the business structure, the scale of the business, depending on how many internal departments or yards or warehouses you have, and depending on the complexity of the services or equipment that you're providing to your customers, and how you want to track all this information about the performance of the equipment, or about the interaction with your clients by using a service call model, for example, or by reserving a rental equipment to the customers and locations, and how to properly communicate using the email notifications automatically triggered by the system based on some kind of activities or events, and how to utilize the email communication functionality built in the RigER software. So all of these will be specifically configured for your needs, depending on the requirements. Also, RigER software integrates with the other, the most used and the most popular different types of software in different sectors or industries. For example, if we talk about the data analysis and business intelligence, we are talking about the Microsoft Power BI integration. So when we can push some portion of the information from the RigER software to the Power BI, and then process this information and build the dashboards, build the reports in the Power BI software, and use it for the purpose of the top management of the company to provide reports and make the value-based decisions based on this information. We also integrate with the most prominent accounting software, like the Sage or Peachtree accounting software, or the QuickBooks, both desktop and online versions. So, and these integrations are set up pretty seamlessly, and they're working fine with the rental invoices, with purchase invoices, so information can be sent from RigER to these systems and then processed there. We also integrate with a tax compliant software, which is Avalara in the United States, so we can update tax rates in the RigER software automatically by pushing just one button, and all the tax rates will be updated using the Avalara software. We integrate with the electronic billing systems like Open Invoice, when we can send invoices generated in the RigER to the Open Invoice again with a click of one button, and you don't have to manually enter and attach files to the Open Invoice because that will be done automatically from the RigER software. We also support the electronic signatures, and we integrate with two systems which are DocuSign and PandaDoc, where you can send documents and print forms generated in RigER right away to the external customer or external recipient for the signature. And once these documents are electronically signed, they will be automatically uploaded back to the RigER software, so you will see them attached automatically, and you don't have to exchange dozens of emails per day just to collect signatures from the clients. And definitely we integrate with a standard Microsoft Office suite like Excel, Outlook, and we can sometimes we can even set up the integration with Gmail. So speaking of the implementation goals, why we implement the software like RigER into your organizations, and what are the benefits of it? So first of all, our proved implementation methodology allows us to implement the business with the RigER software in weeks. So we are talking about from 6 to 8 weeks as a standard time, as a standard commitment time for the implementation project, versus months of years if we're talking about implementing the complex ERP systems like SAP or Oracle. So these are taking months and sometimes years to be implemented, and they are definitely very costly. To implement the RigER software leads to the paperless operations. So basically, you become the digital operated business when your information is stored in the databases and processed by different kind of softwares. And you can access this information on many devices at any time, literally. Also, it leads to the transparency and accountability, because all your operations are now captured and recorded and stored in the software. So now you can access it quickly and easily, and everybody will be accountable for his responsibilities and operations, and everything is seen. And this new system will be as a one source of truth for the whole organization. We also connect Office and Field. So now you don't have to print a lot of papers and give it to the drivers to deliver to somewhere. Now everybody can see all information in one database, as I said, and that just significantly improves the time of information exchange and the easiness how it can be done. And definitely we connect the organization together, so different departments and different employees can work with the same information in the entire database, exchange it, attach files, so everyone will stay on the same page. And with the proper operations in the software, your employees will stay up to date with the recent changes to the documents, to the jobs, and to the other client communication events. So that all leads you to the market and technology leadership in your sector or in your industry. So by using these kind of software, you will be one of the leaders in the sector, because that significantly improves your efficiency and productivity. Just a few words about the general project timeline and the structure. So on the standard project, implementation project of the RigER system, we have several stages which are presented on the lower part of the screen. So we have, first we start with the configuration of your database and configuration of your business operations in the RigER software. Sometimes it may be required that you will need some kind of customization to the software, which are which we can do because our software allows us to configure this pretty flexibly and add new functionality pretty quickly. So once the customized solution is built for you on top of the standard configuration, we start training your people and your employees to how to use the software. So that can be done both online or either online or on-site if the conditions allow us to do that. And once your employees are trained, then you're switched to the onboarding stage when you can perform the operations in the software by yourself, start using this on the daily basis in the live mode. And we kind of do the transition period for you, or stabilization period, when you probably will use both systems simultaneously, your previous system and RigER, the RigER software, just to transfer over seamlessly and not to lose the information, not to lose track of your jobs and information exchange. So, and when the onboarding stage is done, then you'll be transferred over to the support department and support stage, when you can receive ongoing support from our main resources and use the software in the live mode, as I said. This is how the implementation project structure looks like when we, as I said, first we do the pre-implementation consulting stage. We identify your requirements, your needs, your business specifics, your business operations. Then we set up the general onboarding process. Again, as I said, we implement the core functionality to your business. And on top of that, we can implement additional modules or add-ons. If you have complex operations and you want to use the software to the most extent and you want to implement all the modules, we usually separate them by phases, because we need to identify the most important or the preferable modules that will be implemented first. So we are just prioritizing these implementations. And every single module that you're seeing right now on the screen will be implemented as the small implementation project, because again, each module represents some kind of business operations or specific functions in your organization. So that's why we also need to identify how you do these operations. Maybe some kind of data import will be required to start using this module. Maybe sometimes some little customization will be required to satisfy your specific needs. And there will be probably some print form adjustments for your organization and for your customers. And then definitely we do a training on usage of this module to the responsible employees. And then again, we complete this module implementation and transfer you to the live mode and to the support desk. In terms of the user support, so once you're a RigER customer, you have many channels where you can get the information on the RigER system. So one of the best sources of the RigER system documentation is the knowledge base, where you can study the functionality of the RigER software on your own by reading the detailed articles and guides, user guides. You can also submit a question or support ticket to the support portal. You can watch our YouTube videos and webinars about specific functionality, and you can just dial in the support phone number and just to get the support right away. And everything is accessible from within the RigER software, so that's very easy and handy. And a new addition to our support channels is the RigER Digital Oilfield Academy, which is the web-based portal with the online courses where you can learn the information about RigER software and how to use specific modules of the RigER on your own pace. And there are some tests just to make sure that you understand the information that you're learned with. And we're going to deliver these certifications about the completion of the courses, so you can certify your employees with the RigER software usage. Okay, now let's talk about the customer success as the next level and the next step on the customer journey. And I'm gonna pass the mic to Eugene, who will talk about this a little bit more.
Right. Thank you, Gleb. Can everybody still hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So Gleb talked about more technical, sort of transactional side of implementation process. Now I get to talk about more relationship-based approach to implementing any software. In our case, we're talking about RigER. Actually, when we look at the implementation process, it's not only important that the software provider that you're choosing is able to deliver the technical side of it, but you're also going to be able to have a very fruitful and mutually beneficial relationship, so that any issues or challenges that you face down the road, both operationally as well as on the software side, would be resolved timely, effectively, and cost effectively, which is even more probably important for any company. So when we talk about RigER, we have a dedicated account manager that always looks after pretty much every single client need. That goes for any ongoing customizations, any customer support challenges. Typically, support that Gleb just talked about handles all the technical side of things. Any existing user problems, they are supported 24/7 by our team of the support specialists. But the account manager helps to sort of better analyze and understand your operational needs, any potential customization that you would like to implement. All of those needs are being addressed through the account manager. And over time, that person builds a very solid relationship with your company, understands your needs, and just based on that knowledge, able to deliver a better value overall to your organization. And some of those values are shown on this slide. You can see that it leads to a better streamlined business processes, because when you work together with a company that basically implement software, it really helps you to think more seamlessly in terms of your operational processes. Cost-effective solutions. So when we understand what's coming down the pipeline in terms of your needs, we are able to align our resources and your resources accordingly, so that when it's time to actually implement certain changes, it goes very smoothly and on time. And then also all the lessons learned, right? We collect every single piece of communication with you, and there's always a review throughout the year where we review the lessons learned, what's been done, what's been implemented, and it also helps to improve going forward. Gleb, we can move to the next one. So part of the customer success, besides dedicated account manager, we are practicing very effective project management approach. And the reason for that is not only that it delivers the project on time, but again, it also helps to have a very clear focus and understanding of what the objectives for the implementation is. Because in a lot of cases, based on our experience, especially for the smaller organizations, this component, this knowledge is missing, and we really find that it's helpful both for the client, for the customer, and for us internally to have the dedicated project manager and overall project management approach to any implementation process, because again, it will save so much time and effort to get it done right the first time. So one of the items in the project management benefit line would be definitely aligning all the requirements with the strategic sort of priorities of the organization. And being that a part of the customer success, we are able to understand that in advance and plan everything from the resources to the specific timelines accordingly. One of the important pieces of that process also is quality control. So not only that we have a person who manages this cradle to grave from start to finish, but we also have a person that sort of understands the technical side of it, understands the operational side of what your needs are, and then able to match those two together and see whether the product that's been delivered on our end is matching all the requirements. So overall, as I mentioned earlier, delivering any project, whether it's a short customization project or a very massive implementation one, having very solid project management approach allows us to deliver those deliverables on time, on budget, and within resources that we were allocated. So as far as the overall project management software, as Gleb mentioned, we have quite a few modules. And so recently we've actually introduced the project management module within RigER. This module allows you to manage project and all associated activities and tasks fairly smoothly. We looked at a few solutions out there, and we believe that based on what our experience been so far, this is a great tool to manage operational projects and ensure that, again, we are moving on time and on a budget. The module itself helps to see both visually. And on this slide, you can see it's a typical Gantt chart that just basically gives you a layout overall tasks in the project. The next slide would be to show the breakdown in a very conventional sort of table format, where you can see sequential tasks, who assigned, what are the timelines, and all of that again is interconnected, so that when you assign certain actions or tasks, the project team members are able to see what exactly is required from them. In any project, we have a lot of different activities. Majority of them would be meetings. However, there are some requests that come in as you go along with the project implementation. We call them service calls. So it's basically any request that customer would have or any ideas that they would like to implement, but haven't thought about when the project initiated. And so the module effectively allows to register all those activities, keep them in one place, as well as assign any action items as a result of those discussions. As I mentioned, a lot of us spend a lot of time going through meetings, and to make those meetings more effective and more fruitful, we've implemented very enhanced, I would say, process to document the meeting, and also again assign any action items to specific individuals to ensure that this meeting was very productive, and at the end of the day we accomplished what we planned to do. So on this slide, you can see it's the typical interface for our meeting minutes. So basically, our project manager just records everything online, live, and then shortly after the meeting is finished, we send the meeting minutes and action items to every participant just to have a record of that meeting on file. When the email is sent with the meeting summary, that's pretty much the summary that each participant will receive. it gives you a very solid summary as to what this meeting was about, what was discussed, was there any active tasks that are were part of the project, who participated, what was discussed again, and the action items with the specific deadlines and the specific people responsible for it. So now I'm gonna pass it back to Gleb. I just wanted to mention one more thing, that again, for us, customer success is a relationship function. We really would like to understand, and we always strive to understand operational needs of our clients and make sure that we can help with the better preparedness and better planning for any items that you may think of you will need with using our product.
Right. Thank you very much, Eugene. And yeah, let me talk about the keys to success, because having the more than 50 projects implemented already, we can definitely, and we can identify a few keys with pretty much high degree of confidence, which lead to the successful implementation of the RigER software for every single organization. And we are talking about the leadership key, because that's where the leaders can lead the implementation projects and can support the implementation projects by their expertise and their leadership skills, actually, to streamline the communication within the organization, or just to make sure that everybody is involved and everybody is engaged in the implementation project. And also, we are talking about the time constraints. As I said at the beginning of this presentation, we usually commit to the 2 months of the implementation project based on our implementation methodology and steps that we have to take, both RigER and client team. So these time constraints just allows everybody to be on time with delivering the responsibilities of the project and performing the tasks and activities of the project. We usually suggest to select the champions inside of the organization who will be the most proactive go-to people, like people who will be working with the software the most of the time and who are able to train internal users how to use the software. And definitely that is very important to take actions, and small steps lead to big achievements. So from the beginning, it may look as the very complex and long-lasting project, but once we are progressing and we are doing specific things, and we're taking specific steps every single week, every single day, then we are just moving along the project progress, and we're reaching to the ultimate goal of being digital with the RigER software. And small wins start from the most problematic area or the most important for your organization with the highest priority. So it may be the asset tracking, or it can be billing, it can be maintenance, tracking the maintenance events of the equipment. So once you identify these priorities, we just start moving together. We also stick to the company-wide approach, where we involve different departments and different functional positions in the company to the implementation project, because, again, as I said previously, RigER is the complex system for the whole organization. And we usually implement the office operations and office employees first with the RigER desktop application, because that's the most functional application. And once the RigER system is implemented in the office and everybody understands how to process the documents, how to exchange the information, then we can start implementing the field personnel with the RigER mobile applications. And because RigER mobile applications are a little bit limited with the functionality, and they are built specifically with this with a particular purpose. So speaking of the mobile operations, we have several mobile applications, again designed for different functional groups. For example, we have a separate application for the sales personnel, which is the Oilfield CRM. In this application, you can generate new quotes, build new jobs for customers, provide the pricing to the customers, and finalizing the deal and signing the contract with the customer, and then transferring the job to the operations department. Now, when the operation department takes over the job, and they start using the field ticket application, where field technicians can get their tickets to the field app and see all the information in there and process the ticket, collect signature for the ticket, and attach photos or any additional documents to the specific ticket, and synchronize it back to the office to approve the ticket and move it to the invoicing. So we also have a specific and special application for the purchase module, where the field technicians can submit a purchase request. Once this request is approved by the purchase manager, then it can be then processed to the purchase order and purchase invoice. So mobile applications just allow you to, again, connect the whole organization together and exchange the information quickly and effectively. And just as our best practices and recommendations for the implementation project, if you're going to go with RigER software soon, so we usually suggest to specify and to be focused on the small wins. Just implement one module from the beginning, then another module, then another module. We're moving from easy to complex, and we follow this approach that, again, it's very essential to see how some requirements are achieved with the RigER functionality. As I said previously, Office first and Field second. So that's the best approach that has been showing the results for many companies. Core processes first and integration second, because you have to collect enough data in the RigER system first to make sure that these data can be transferred over to the other software. So that's why it's important to stabilize your operations in the RigER first, and then see how this information can be sent to the third-party applications. And again, phase-based approach, where we split the whole implementation project to the phases. And once one phase is completed, then we move to another, but not mixing up and just putting all the phases together and trying to implement the whole system in 2 or 3 months. That will be very hard, and that will put a lot of pressure on the employees, and it will take lots of resources from the company. So our project management system, again, will allow you to structure the whole project and just to complete it effectively. So I just want to say thank you to you that you participated in this webinar and probably learned something new. So if you want to discuss some specific questions, or you want to see the demo of the RigER software specifically for your organization, please go to our website, rigER.us, and book your demo. So we will reach you out and schedule the demo with you and show you specifically how RigER can be implemented for your organization and how it can benefit your operations, your field operations, and services. All right, so on that note, let me wrap this up, and thank you very much again. We will talk to you next week. Goodbye.